You like key lime, Mom?
Like what?
Key lime?
Key lime?
Lime? Key lime?
Key
It's
lime?
like a tart flavor. It's not quite a lemon.
Is it light?
Yeah, it's kind of tart. It's light, but it's tart. I used to make key lime cupcakes.
Oh.
I used to make all kinds of stuff because everybody was always having parties and
Oh,
doing
yeah.
stuff.
And you bring.
And so I'd bring something different.
Oh.
Or when you work in Corp USA or academia or any place like that where people, there's always food days and stuff like that.
Oh.
I've never seen so many different variations of the same thing in my whole life.
Oh, the same food.
Yeah. Everybody likes in the Midwest, they like meatballs. They're Swedish meatballs, and they do this thing where they take barbecue sauce and like a jar of jelly or something,
Uh-huh.
and then put their meatballs in that. It's just like, yeah. I don't know, I guess they do this stuff all over the place, but we never really went places except for potlucks when we were real young
Yeah.
to and I think that's one of the reasons why I liked variety so much is because you always we were on such a tight budget, limited,
Something different.
you just always would get the same things.
Routine.
Yeah, and I needed more than that. So that's why one of the reasons why nowadays I'm always giving you options of what I'll ask you get 2-3 different things of what you want to eat. Like I'll ask, because I heard somebody do a talk the other day. It's not good for Sagittarius to do the same. It's that variety is the spice of life, and it's good for you that you get to sample stuff.
But not all the time.
Yeah, moderation. Everything's in moderation. Right, so hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilk empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I almost was just gonna go to sleep and sleep right through it, honestly. And then I was like, I heard the end of Monk where the song goes in a loop, and then ultimately it stops. And I was like, no, it didn't stop. It was still going. And I was like dozing off back there. We were just all blissed out. I was like, oh, I scheduled a live. Started out kind of a weird, kind of a morning. I'd get up at like 5, 4 to 5. As soon as that little cat sees that the sun is up, she starts scratching at the door. The mom cat in the bathroom.
Oh, really?
She wants out of me. Actually, she's been staying out all night here and then going in the morning.
Oh.
Last night is what she did. So it's either way. It's like 5 o'clock. It's early, and once I get up, I pretty much go all day long. I mean, I'll get like periods where I get to meditate in the afternoon. I'll get hopefully, on a good day, I'll get a chunk of about an hour, hour and a half.
Get some time to rest.
Yeah, I get some time to recharge my batteries. But so this morning I went out and freaking to feed the little cats outside, and I open up the truck where I store the food in.
Yeah.
There's an old truck out there. I just store the food in that, and I'm like, what the heck? This is not right in here. Like, it has a visor that was up there, but it was all down, and and then I looked down by the food, and there's a cat looking up at me, and I was like, oh no, that was the mom to the baby that of the 4 outside.
Oh.
And she'd been in there since yesterday when I fed cats.
By herself?
Yeah, she got locked in there.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, because as soon as I came out, I saw the babies, but usually they're all curled up on her. And so I was like, oh no, my heart just started hurting, And then I didn't see the little, and then like I saw, Benny, chill. I saw one of the kittens, and it had like his eye, was there something wrong with his eye, but then once mom showed up, she started looking at it, it was okay. And then, is that Tuck coming out? Hey, Tuck. And then the tiniest one, the smallest one, is the littlest black cat I've ever seen in my life. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute and it's so tiny. And
So tiny.
Tut, good boy. Get some water, hit that hydration station. No? Good boy. Always giving his girl kisses now. And so, but it wasn't around. I was like, oh no, if something ate it, I'm not gonna, oh dear, calamity. And I came inside for a little while, and a little while later went back outside to weed eat the fucking industrial Jurassic sized freaking weeds all over the place. If I do a little bit of time, I can stay on top of them. Went outside to weed eat, and the little black cat showed up. So I was like, whew, okay, all right. So now it's like, don't go in there, because just one more thing I got to be extra freaking cautious of, on top of everything else. Biddy's over here blissed out on Mom. I didn't have the big bright light on today because Stan Lee's sleeping in the chair, and a little while ago, Tango was in there with him.
All together?
Yeah, it was pretty freaking cute. It was freaking. I don't have people friends. I got critter friends. I don't do real good with people so much anymore. I don't know, it's a trip, man. People have changed their priorities and things that now it's like, oh my gosh, Ma. I'm just like, where are these people's parents? All these freaking missing kids, all these kids that are committing homicides and stuff like that. I'm like, where are their parents? What are their parents doing? Do they know? I was thinking about that earlier today. Is like, when people start seeing people as people, and start taking down people as they want people to be. You know what I mean? Like a good example of that would be when people see their parents. Come here, Tuck. Come here, Tuck. We're not going out right now, bud. Come here, baby. Come here, let me do this, and then we'll go out. You can go be the first one. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Come here, Tuck. Come here, bud. Okay, good boy. There's nothing in there. See, he's feeling better. He's feeling better. But like when people see their parents as people for the first time. I've seen that, like, people go through that. I never saw my parents in the traditional sense as people usually see parents. Because they never got, I don't know, I just never got to. So I always just saw my parents as people. And my dad was one of those freaking real arrogant, freaking cocky asshole guys, that all the girls liked and stuff, all the guys that freaking growing up, like, that same kind of guy made things real hard for me. Because they thought it would be fun to make fun of me and pick on me and stuff like that. Including him. So I became pretty good with words and stuff, because it's just easier if you just, fucking make fun of people with words that are trying to insult me and stuff like that. It was like kind of a defense kind of thing. It's like, all right, or even worse, beat my ass. I've been beat up plenty of times in my life. If you can't take a freaking whooping, even if you can't give one either, Oh, people are gonna find out. On top, people are gonna find out. Everybody gets their chance to experience life. So I was thinking about that a lot today. Like, I remember my friend Kat, when I say friends, it's like people I used to know, I've known in my life. And, come on, Tuck. You're okay. Come here. Come here. Get up here. Good boy. Good boy. You don't like the lights today? Come on. Come here, Tuck. Good boy. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
Good boy.
Good boy. Her dad got in a frickin' he was like a, I don't know if he had his own plane or because he did work for the postal service, so I don't know if he was driving a plane for the postal. Anyway, it went down. He lived, but he had to go to rehab. It really messed him up and stuff like that. And I remember hearing stories about how of like her transition of her seeing her dad as her dad, this strong, father figure, whatever in whatever capacity, to a person that is that is immortal like everybody else, and her struggles with that. So I think that's one of the reasons why I've had so many struggles in my life, is because it does make other people feel better when you can relate to them. Yeah, when you can relate to them, it makes them feel better. Like when people go through the same thing, shared experiences, it's like, I don't know, just because other people have gone through it too, it somehow makes it a little bit easier. Whatever. Maybe not. What? I do know that it'll behoove the population if people start freaking figuring out how to talk about their feelings and emotions, and acting and sorting them out in rational ways, because we're just going to see more and more people on the planet that don't have the ability to.
Or they don't want to.
They just don't want to. So freaking people act out, and they don't realize how easy it is. Freaking the human body is very fragile. So people think, it don't take that much force to cause a great deal of harm, and there's so many freaking crimes of passion, and people just like getting mad, and something serious happens in that instant, and that stuff you can't take back. So people find their pause, maybe that moment, in their haste and their freaking vengeance and anger, and remember that vengeance isn't theirs. It belongs to the Lord, and that that maybe some things aren't as important as that they might, like I know that a lot of people get real upset if they feel like they're being disrespected. It's a weirdest thing, but they do. It's like if they're feeling, it's a trip, man. I've seen it a lot in my life. It's like, but to them, it's not even respect. They don't want to be respected. They want to be feared. You know what? They want to be feared. It's all about a power play. I guess they're canceling all kinds of stuff here in New Mexico. People's like permits to go look for just all kinds of stuff because of these fires. And I'm like, I'm seeing less and less evidence of the fires. You know what? Well, they just keep saying stuff, and that's why I got the sign back there, is when has the government ever said anything true, All these guys are making bank, man, out there, and freaking all these guys that are freaking downtown Taos fucking with their big old trucks, and their emergency headquarters center. It's all freaking bullshit, man. I wish people could really understand that all these organizations, and how many of these guys are like getting the good pictures behind the scenes and still getting paid a lot of money. You're supposed to be fighting fires, but you got plenty of time for photo ops and to go out and fly your little fucking drones and shit like that, right? Right? It's just, see, that's the thing is I moved around so much. I've been the outsider my whole entire life. So, and I always try and start to get along, right? But then I'm like, I get a part of a group or something like that, and I'm just like, well, this is dumb, Like, it's like, what do they do? I noticed that on the thumbnail of this talk, I used, I went to the Lilac Festival. That was an occasion that didn't get canceled, but because of the fires. But all these other ones did. It's just freaking politics and bureaucracy, and it's just it's a big old. The world's turned into a freaking big old popularity contest, you know, and it's all the Nelly Olsons, and it's all these little freaking like these people that are just really, quite frankly, insignificant. I mean, as far as personalities, these politicians and these figureheads and these, you know, councils and all, they're really, that's why they're always doing the freaking power plays, because they really are freaking small people inside, and they gotta manage and freaking dictate and make it how they want it. And it's just like, you know, how you want it, it's not necessarily the best idea. But they don't care, because they're in charge. And don't you know who they are? And because of attitudes like this, and we're just going to keep watching freaking America flush down the toilet. I listened in off my freaking potato chips, put down my freaking Mountain Dew, you know what I mean? Freaking adjust my freaking goo, and freaking we'll just go on down the road. Really? I just laughed. They're like, oh, somebody said, oh, there's Americans in the millions on the ready. I'm like, where were they? Because I everywhere I went, I just saw a bunch of freaking compliant people that just shut up the last 2 years and wore a mask. You know? So I see things different than other people do. Huh? They see things how they want to see them, and I see them how I've experienced them without that sugar-coated freaking candy Lynn stuff, Ma.
Yeah.
I don't know where people get their little sugar, you know, a lot of people are so sheltered, man. Oh my gosh. I wish I was that sheltered. I could be so ignorant. That ain't my plight. That ain't my path in life. So, we all have our own paths and a different path. And that's the thing, is the life lessons that each individual is learning is different in this incarnation. It's all different for everybody. Way I see it, it all boils down, like the end result is, you going to live from spirit, or you going to live from ego? I see a lot of people living from ego. Everywhere I look, people living from ego. I've lived from ego for a number of years. I can't do it anymore. It don't feel right to me. I have to compromise my every self, freaking be subservient to other people that have, their ideas aren't even as good as mine. Why do I gotta listen to them? Why do they make 6 figures? Why am I crawling around the floor freaking hooking up their computers, you know? They don't even know how to anyway. What else, Ma? I still don't care about that freaking Johnny Dupe. His last name's Depp. I just call him Dupe. Johnny Dupe. Because it's like they don't care about, like, you know, human. The story continues, eh, Ma?
One step at a time.
We had a pretty good day all in all, right?
Yeah.
I didn't go nowhere doing, like, clean the floors, and that's the thing. I'm always doing chores. Because I can't just, like, do nothing all the time. And sometimes I want to do nothing all the time. Like, the last few days, I haven't wanted to go nowhere. I haven't wanted to, and now I'm, like, running out of stuff. Now I have to go into town to get provisions, you know, because now there's like, all right, need backup this, backup that. So now I'm putting myself in a position that I have to go, and I hate when I do that, but that's all right.